nice and sharp. Wow, aren't we lucky to have heard that original recording of an old man in his 80s sharpening a knife at his kitchen table in 1527. Simply magnificent. Hello and welcome back to the final couplet with me, Theo Cowan. It's another week. It's not quite as hot this week in England, which is good for me. I can close the windows and not be sweating like a maniac in here. Today, of course, we're looking at another sonnet. This one, yeah, that's right, it's 114. But first, I feel like we should have a little look at what's been going on in the world of Shakespeare, in the news. Shakespeare news. Here we go. Shakespeare news. Okay. Talented cast put on dazzling performance of Shakespeare classic. That's in Kidderminster, in the Kidderminster Shuffle paper. We got a review of Rough Magic at the Shakespeare's Globe. Rough Magic, that doesn't sound like a Shakespeare play. 5 stars though, so good for them. And that's just a play at the Globe. And here we go. This is an interesting one, isn't it? So there's a play in the West End that is basically about Shakespeare and Marlowe, and it looks like they're having some sort of love affair. Now, I don't really know anything about this play. It's being put on by the RSC. I think it's going to be at the RSC and in the West End. But I'm just saying, this podcast has had a sort of love affair between Marlowe and Shakespeare for quite a long time. And might be just worth noting that maybe I'm the originator of that concept and all rights are mine. So looking forward to getting some of that sweet, sweet cash from the West End when that eventually comes out. Good luck to them. So that's the Shakespeare news. Not too much going on. People just putting on Shakespeare shows mainly, which is good to see. It's good to see they're still being put on, isn't it? Right then, this week it's Sonnet 114, and it is sort of a direct continuation on from Sonnet 113, which we've seen many times in the Shakespeare sonnet collection. He likes to do a sort of part 2, sometimes a part 3, sometimes a part 4. Sometimes it gets too much. And I've said previously that he needs to label them, not a new number, but 113 part 2. Come on, make it easier for us, Shakespeare. That's not a whole new sonnet, is it? So something to think about. If we could go back in time, I'd probably tell Shakespeare to renumber his sonnets. Let's take a listen to Sonnet 114 or 113 part 2. Or whether doth my mind, being crowned with you, drink up the monarch's plague, this flattery? Or whether shall I say mine eye saith true, and that your love taught it this alchemy, to make of monsters and things indigest such cherubins as your sweet self resemble, creating every bad a perfect best, as fast as objects to his beams assemble? Ah, 'tis the first, 'tis flattery in my seeing, and my great mind most kingly drinks it up. Mine eye well knows what with his gust is greeing, and to his palate doth prepare the cup. If it be poisoned, 'tis the lesser sin that mine eye loves it, and doth first begin. So there we have it, Sonnet 114 or 113 part 2. And yeah, he's clearly continuing on because he literally starts the sonnet with or. Who starts a sonnet with or? Who starts a poem with or? Just make it one long poem. Doesn't have to be a sonnet necessarily. Well, it won't be a sonnet if it's longer than, your 14 lines. And if you remember last week, Shakespeare was worried that his eyes were deceiving him and he was seeing his lover in everything, in everyone. So, he's looking at horrible, ugly things and seeing his lover. He was seeing, maybe maybe a horse or something and seeing his lover. It was crazy. And so in this sonnet, he's continuing that thought and he's saying, is it my eyes that are tricking me? Or have you given me this amazing superpower to make ugly things seem incredible and make things look like you? Then he sort of examines this internal torment that is going on, that his eye is seeing something and tricking his brain in a way. Right, let's dive into this sonnet line by line and work out what the hell Shakespeare was going on about in Sonnet 114. So we start with, or whether doth my mind, being crowned with you, drink up the monarch's plague, this flattery? So here he's saying, or is it that my mind, that is filled with the thoughts of you, has become victim to a monarch's plague? And we all know what a monarch's plague is, don't we? A king's weakness is flattery. This flattery. Because a king is just always, people are always telling him how amazing he is. Or a queen. Doesn't matter, king or queen. They're always saying, everyone around them is going, you're incredible, you're amazing. I love you so much, you're so beautiful. And that is a monarch's plague, I do believe. Then he continues with, or whether shall I say mine eye saith true, and that your love taught it this alchemy? So is it that my eyes are getting tricked, or is it that my eyes are seeing clearly and your love has given them magical powers? I mean, my initial thoughts would be probably the first one. He does come to that conclusion later, but he's got to go through all the motions, doesn't he? He's got to see if other theories are correct. Obviously, this is quite a crazy theory to think that your lover has given you the superpower to see amazing things. But you never know, do you? You've got to try it out, try and on for size. So he continues with this idea. To make of monsters and things indigest, such cherubins as your sweet self resemble. So this magical power that you've potentially given my eyes turns monsters and other horrible old things into angelic things that look like you, that resemble your sweet self. So that's the power you might have given me. I'm just saying, you might have given me that, which would be kind of crazy, kind of amazing, but also pretty annoying because you are altering his vision at the end of the day. And then he continues this thought, creating every bad a perfect best, as fast as objects to his beams assemble. So it's the same thought, really. He's saying, turning everything bad and ugly into the most perfect thing, aka you, as quickly as they come into my vision. And that's all a long question, really. He's saying, is this the case? Have you given me this power to see beauty in everything? To see yourself in everything? Oh, 'tis the first. 'Tis flattery in my seeing. So having posed that question, he's like, oh no, who am I kidding? It is the first thing I was talking about. My eyes are being flattered. That's what it is. It's not a special power. It's just my eyes are being flattered. And my great mind most kingly drinks it up. So again, we're going back to the analogy of a king just lapping it all up. So, much like a king would lap up the praise. They wouldn't be like, oh, shut up, I'm not good looking. Oh, stop it, you. They'd be like, yeah, I am amazing. I am incredible. I am gorgeous. Just like Shakespeare's eyes are lapping up this beauty that he's seeing. He's loving seeing his lover in an ugly old pile of horse shit or something like that. He's loving it. Mine eye well knows what with his gust is greeing, and to his palate doth prepare the cup. God, that's a hell of a line, isn't it? What his gust is greeing. So I think he's saying my eye knows what I like to see, essentially. And they serve it up to my mind. So my eyes serve up to my mind this vision, much like a drink. So they go, here you go. We love to see this. We love to see our lover. We love to see our beautiful, sexy lover. And that's our eyes pouring out a drink and giving it to the mind and going, there you go, mate. That's what we like to see, just to let you know. And the mind goes, all right, cheers. Thanks for that. Don't think that's quite how the eyes and brain and the body works necessarily, but it's a fun image, isn't it? And now we're on to the final couplet. If it be poisoned, 'tis the lesser sin that mine eye loves it and doth first begin. So if this flattery is poison, it's only a small sin that my eyes enjoy it and consume it first. So if this flattery is a bad thing, if it is poisonous, it's actually not that bad that it's affecting the eyes first. All right, you know, and they're enjoying it, they're loving it. It's not so bad, is it? And I think this sort of analogy of poison and eyes and mind, I think there's something in here that's referring to, you know, how kings and queens, they got people, or other people in power, got people to drink and eat their food before them, sort of servants and stuff like that, to eat and drink their food before them to see if it was poisoned. So the king and queen in this situation is the mind, and the eyes are sort of trying out the food first to see if it is poisoned, so that it doesn't get to the mind, it doesn't get to the king and queen. I think that's the analogy he's making here. It's a bit complex, but I do believe that is what he's talking about. And I, for one, think it's quite a fun analogy. So there we have it, Sonnet 114, or Sonnet 113 Part 2. And yeah, it's much of the same. He's throwing a few ideas out. He's saying, you know, are my eyes being tricked? Or have you given me this power? And then he goes, no, you're right, my eyes are being flattered. And then they're seeing these things. They're seeing you being all lovely and stuff. And they're telling the brain what to see, essentially. And that is what's going on. So you haven't given me a superpower, is what Shakespeare's saying at the end of the day there. But his eyes just want to see nice things. Is that so wrong? His eyes just want to see his lover in everything. And what's the problem with that, eh? Right, I think it's about time we put this to our story. And if you remember, Shakespeare has got this ongoing thing with the Earl of Southampton. It's a will they won't they situation. It's a rom-com vibe. Well, is there com? I guess there's com. I guess there's comedy. But very much a rom vibe, for sure. And they have decided to spend some time apart because Shakespeare had sort of been cheating on the Earl of Southampton. The Earl of Southampton's not happy about it. Then Shakespeare's like, you know, it's actually my fans that are affecting me and being in the public eye, and that's difficult. And the Earl of Southampton says, look, I think you need to go away and be on your own, mate. And Shakespeare's like, oh, that's annoying, but all right. So he goes off to his holiday cottage. And when he's out there in his holiday cottage, you start seeing his lover in everything. He's seeing a horse and he's going, oh my God, it's my lover. It's the Earl of Southampton. He sees a flower. It's the Earl of Southampton. He sees some horse shit. It's the Earl of Southampton. And he thinks he's going mad. So he writes a sonnet and he sends it to the Earl of Southampton saying what's going on. And this delivery man has taken this sonnet all the way to the Earl of Southampton. And the Earl of Southampton has just had a read of it. So let's find out how he receives this news of Shakespeare seeing him in everything, and how Sonnet 114 fits into all this. The Earl of Southampton finishes reading Sonnet 113. He looks up to the delivery man and says, have you read this? Delivery man said, yeah, on my way over I did have a little read actually, because obviously it's Shakespeare, you know, that gave it to me. So I thought, wow, he's a good writer, see what he's writing about. And yeah, it's quite disturbing, wasn't it? And the Earl of Southampton says, yeah, it was pretty disturbing to read that actually. He's Yeah, he seems to be losing his mind out there. And delivery man says, yep, totally agree with you. Seems like he's seeing you in everything, which is quite crazy. I think maybe he needs to see a doctor. And the Earl of Southampton says, hey, that's not a bad idea. I'm going to get a doctor out there ASAP. Do you mind taking the doctor out to Shakespeare? And the man says, well, it's not strictly my job. I'm not purely a delivery man. I've actually got aspirations and other things in life, And the Earl of Southampton says, all right, well, look, can you do it or not? I'll pay you money. And the guy says, yeah, all right, I'll do it. But just to let you know, I'm more than just this. This isn't who I am. The Earl of Southampton says, all right, yeah, that's good to know. Right, let's get a doctor. And he goes out into the street and he goes, are there any doctors here? And purely by chance, a man in his late 40s with a lovely moustache and goatee and round spectacles is walking past and goes, I am a doctor. And the Earl of Southampton says, oh, well, that's lucky. First person I come across is a doctor. And the man says, oh, it's your lucky day. And the Earl of Southampton says, listen, can you go out to check on my sort of friend / lover, William Shakespeare? And the doctor says, well, not the William Shakespeare, is it? And the Earl of Southampton says, yeah, it's the William Shakespeare, the writer and everything, and actor. And the doctor says, well, it would be an honour. The Earl of Southampton says, this man will take you. And the man says, you haven't even asked my name. My name's John. The Earl of Southampton says, all right, okay, John, thank you. Can you take this lovely doctor out to examine Shakespeare? And so with that, the man takes the doctor to William Shakespeare's holiday cottage out in the countryside. Obviously takes a couple of days. John and the doctor, they have a great old time. They're loving life. Actually, they've got a very similar sense of humour, and they become close friends. Eventually, the doctor arrives at Shakespeare's and he knocks on the door. William Shakespeare opens the door and says, oh, the Earl of Southampton, hello, there you are. And the doctor says, no, it's me, I'm a doctor. Look, the Earl of Southampton sent me. It seems you, William Shakespeare, are going mad. You're not a doctor. You're the Earl of Southampton. You're my lover. Come in. Come on in. And the doctor says, no, I am a doctor and I'm here to check up on you. And he walks into the house. It's a bit of a mess. Shakespeare's all over the place. And Shakespeare says, I've been having this problem, Earl of Southampton, where I've been weighing up whether you've given me this crazy superpower to see you in everything, or it's just my eyes telling me what I want to see, aka you. The doctor says, for the third time, I'm not the Earl of Southampton, I'm a doctor, and I think you've got a serious problem. Shakespeare says, no, don't be silly, you're the Earl of Southampton, I can see you plain as day. And he says, it's actually great news that you're here because I've written you another sonnet just to sort of throw some questions up in the air. It's more for myself in a way, but I thought you might quite like to read it. And the doctor says, no, I don't think I should because I'm a doctor and not the Earl of Southampton. Shakespeare says, don't be silly. Sit down and listen to my sonnet. The doctor, shocked by Shakespeare's abrupt aggression, takes a seat in the nearest armchair. Shakespeare says, do you want a cup of tea? No, thank you. I just need to examine you, if that's okay, and maybe give you some medicine for your visual impairment. And Shakespeare says, oh, you're being very funny playing the role of doctor, aren't you, Mr. Earl? And then he pulls out Sonnet 114 from his back pocket and reads, Sonnet 114. Or is it that my mind, filled with thoughts of you, has become victim to a king's weakness, aka flattery? Or is it that my eyes are seeing clearly, and your love has given them magical powers to turn monsters and other horrible old things into angelic things that look like your sweet self, turning everything bad and ugly into the most perfect thing as quickly as they come into my vision? Who am I kidding? The first is true. My eyes are being flattered, and my proud kingly mind laps it up. My eye knows what I like to see, and they serve it up to my mind like a drink. And if this flattery is poison, it's only a small sin that my eyes enjoy it and consume it first. So there we have it. Sonnet 114. Shakespeare's lost his mind. He thinks the doctor is the Earl of Southampton coming to visit him. How the hell is this situation going to be resolved? Will the doctor get out of there alive? Find out next week on the final couplet. Until then, bye.